the book started about me plotting out what I would do to get even with the Border Patrol. Like how I would reach out to those that needed the help. The story came from me being pissed off like, hey, since y'all don't want to take advantage of my qualifications, I'm gonna go to the cartel and tell them everything.
Tell me about that.
I ain't gonna implicate myself, but bruh, I was so hot, man, because I put so much work in, and I'm seeing people get picked over me. And it's like a continued like, you ain't, and I'm stuck. I'm traveling as well. When you get outside of America, you see what real struggle look like. Like everybody think they a victim and this racist, bruh. Man, take your
Right.
take your Russia. Take your anywhere where you don't have this infrastructure here and the safety of police and the law to protect you, bruh. Where, all right, you black, all right, you about to get your you know what I'm saying?
But you know, one thing, Stevie, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about. I don't know if we talked about it last time we were on the podcast. Like your upbringing. Did we talk about that last time? I don't know if we talked about that.
Probably.
So where were you born at?
Well, I was born in Texas, but I grew up in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
So you were born in Texas. What part of Texas?
San Angelo, but I moved when I was 3.
Oh, okay. So
my parents in the Air Force. So my whole adolescent, high school, college is all in Georgia. When I graduated college, I moved to California.
Did you go? What college did you go to in
Georgia
California?
Southern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So once you got past the college era, is that when you joined the Border Patrol?
Mm-hmm. I graduated college in 2008. It's when the market tanked and Bush was sending everybody to war.
Yeah.
And the economy was all jacked up. And I remember it was like yesterday, man. I was telling my mom, because I was going to go back to Atlanta because there was nothing there.
Yeah.
And I told my mom, I said, I'm about to join the military. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
She said, my mom she don't cuss. Well, she cuss when she like lit, but she don't say the N-word. And I told my mama, I said, hey, I'm going to join the military. She said, no. And I was like, all right, well, I ain't gonna do that. And then Border Patrol, they put out a mass hiring. They was hiring like 2,000-something agents, and I had never thought about the Border Patrol, but economy was trash, and I wasn't gonna go back home. And then Border Patrol was talking about paying 6 figures like 18 months after you start working. I was like, bro, say less.
I remember that.
You know what I mean? My professor was like, nah, don't do it, bro, because they gonna put your ass out there in the middle of a damn desert. You be sitting there with your thumb up your.
But you ever think about being a cop though?
Nah.
Like, were you thinking about service? Because, you know, like you came from a military family. You wanted to join. Your mama said F now. But then, like, did you want to continue in service, or was that just a great opportunity?
No, my major in college was justice studies and criminal law. And I had my eyes on, like, FBI, DEA, things like that. But one reason why I chose the Border Patrol, they didn't polygraph. Because I couldn't pass a polygraph.
You cutting up? Were you cutting up in college or what?
I mean, I was what you mean, dog? And then I'd also had experience with the polygraph too, man, because I tried to pick up an internship with the GBI when I was in college, which is the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, and I failed the polygraph. So I was like, so when I'm looking for agencies to apply for,
what polygraph question do you fail?
Man,
if you gonna go to jail over, don't say it on the thing.
Like
stealing,
drugs.
Did you do a lot of drugs, or just like basic stuff?
Nah, I wasn't a druggie at all, bro. But like I had experimented with stuff.
Was college insane for you? Like, was college? Were you a good student? Going to school, getting good grades, or were you just hoeing it up?
Nah,
I'm just keeping it real, bro. Because
man, I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Oh, bro, so I know what happened.
You know what I mean? But I wasn't cutting up, bro. Like I was a scholar of my frat. I got awards for me getting good grades. I'm not like a recluse or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But the women was not a problem, but they was a distraction. That's probably my only distraction.
Dude, unless you gay, I think that, or you super lame, I think that women are always a distraction in college for men.
Yeah.
If you look decent whatsoever, they running after you, especially you being in a fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get hazed? You can't. I can't ask you that. I'll say this: was it challenging? Because see, I played football in college,
Yeah.
and it's like a fraternity in and of
Yeah,
itself.
y'all
Like,
get hazed too.
you're an athlete.
Yeah.
You gotta get your reputation up. You get hazed every day in practice, pretty much. But we're a team. We're a part of a group, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're athletes. We play for the football team. Mm-hmm. Now, I've never been in a fraternity, right? And there's a difference in fraternities.
Well, it's the same though, bro.
But see, black and white fraternities are different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people don't understand that, bro.
Absolutely.
Like
college football. I play college football too. College football is closer to a black fraternity than the white frats are, because in the white frats, bro, it's not a lifetime commitment. You know what I mean? Like they go to school, they get the benefits from being affiliated with the frat, and then once they graduate college, it ain't like no family brotherhood, whatever, man. But like, to this day, if I'm driving around, they see my tag and I'm the frat, bro. It's like brothers. You know what I mean? It's the same way with like football. I'm a mater or whatnot. Like you see somebody that played for the same team as you did, and they a young buck, you gonna be like, what's happening?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that black sorority stuff is for real. Black fraternity and sorority. Because my stepmom is an AKA, and she been an AKA forever, bro.
Yeah.
She ain't never stopped.
It's a culture.
I think she's still a part of it. I think she was like the chapter leader for like 20 years. Yeah. And everything in our house is pink and green.
Yeah. I'm not that crazy with it, but I definitely know of a lot of people that, take it there. But if they play Atomic Dog, you play Atomic Dog in the studio, I'm gonna start hopping. You know what I mean? That's just what it is.
So then you go to college, you had the experience that probably any male will have with the added brotherhood of being in a fraternity, playing ball. Mm-hmm. You leave, you want to do the military. Mama's like,
but the only reason why I wanted to do military because the economy was trash. I never wanted to go to the military.
You didn't want, even though you came from a military family?
I mean, as soon as my mama found out she was pregnant, they both got out.
Oh, they both got out.
Yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't consider us a military family.
What would you have done if the economy wasn't bad and you had an option? Were you going to pursue real estate?
I don't. That's a good question, bro. I have no idea. I mean, initially I wanted to get into engineering and architecture, things like that, man. But I couldn't stay focused enough to pursue that. I had too much stuff going on.
And so BP, the Border Patrol, paying money. Mm-hmm. I remember, bro, because I was still in college. I graduated in 2010, but a dude at my church worked for the Border Patrol in Tucson. And of course, he was telling me that he in the middle of the desert, he worked the midnight shift, and he's encountering skeletons and, women with the baby skeleton in the woman because she's pregnant and she died behind a canyon. They finding drugs every night. The illegals are running around. And, it was pretty intriguing to me back then because I was still playing football. But I know they were paying good. So it was kind of a thing floating in people's mind. If I don't make it in the league, I'm going to Border Patrol paying 6 figures. Yeah. And they would have their progressive pay scale. So you see that, no polygraph. So you like, I might have a chance at this. How was the process of getting on the Border Patrol? Because outside of the polygraph, was it difficult to go through basic training?
No, because as long as you in shape. And then they say, I can compare it to some of them because I've seen some of the academies of other law enforcement agencies. But when I went through, Border Patrol was known to have one of the worst ones. And we're considered, or they're, I said we're. They're considered.
No more, no more.
Yeah, they're considered a paramilitary agency. So everything is like, you walk in like you're in the military, you got to call out cadence and go from.
Just like cops, we do. Paramilitary, same thing.
And then they had like rough, like defensive tactics, and you got to get sprayed, you got to get tased.
Did you get tased?
Yeah. Like I've been tased a few times.
Bro.
Because I was a defensive, I wasn't a defensive instructor, but I took the training multiple times trying to get it, but I never got selected. But, I've been tased multiple times. I've been bit by canine dogs doing the canine training.
Which one is worse, taser or pepper spray?
Pepper spray by far.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Ain't even close.
No, yeah.
I'll take taser all day.
Dude, I thought about being a cop again. Like, a while back, I was like, I'm a So I let my certification lapse. I was like, let me get my certification. I'll just volunteer because I just love being a cop. I love serving. But the thought of getting pepper sprayed again, I would never do it again. I don't for no money. I would never get pepper sprayed again. In training? Or because I got training and then
other certs I had to get to try to get other positions.
Again,
and then they got they changed the ingredients like years in. I was in the Border Patrol for 13 years, so they made them stronger as the years progressed. I remember the first time I got sprayed, I was good like the same day. When I got sprayed like later on in my career, bro, that shit lasted like a week. You know what I mean?
Bro, it was a nightmare. I remember feeling like that's the worst thing that ever happened to me. Unbearable pain for 45 minutes straight. And it finally started wearing off after 45 minutes, but bro, it reactivate. You know, you go to the shower and it reactivate.
Yeah.
So you in the Border Patrol, you went through the academy. I mean, you went to the academy, got selected. Then how did it progress? Because obviously it's going to lead to the things that you've written in the book.
Yeah.
So how did it progress? Did you enjoy it?
When I initially got to the Border Patrol, it was a culture shock. Because I'm coming from Georgia, going to California, and I'm in the mountains and I'm doing what you're talking about. We chasing aliens. I'm working nighttime too. Well, it was really the journeyman that got popped off because, journeyman, they put you in positions to get experience real quick. So you're doing all the fun stuff. So high-speed pursuit, seizing mountains of cash, mountains of dope, of course, aliens and whatnot. Like, it was fun chasing people in the woods and body slamming them up. It was fun initially, but that was all like when they trying to get you going and whatnot, man. But like as soon as they give you the keys and cut you by yourself, bro, I was like, nah, I can't do this. And this is before I realized my circumstances, bro. But like just getting your keys and getting the truck and just going to the border and just driving up and down the border all night long.
That's all y'all did.
But see, I can't. Well, that's how everything starts, right? Border Patrol is the largest federal law enforcement agency in America. Right. Got the most bodies. So they don't just put them all towards the border. That's just like the entry part. So after realizing how boring it was on the border, just looking at dirt all day, bro, I swear, like you had agents there that would it's like they little pink thing come out like a dog when they see foot sign, like footprints, and they go crazy. And it was like professional hide and seek. I was like, man, I'm not doing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting paid, but I like this beneath me, bro. You know what I mean? But then once I came to realize that how many opportunities Border Patrol had in it, I was like, okay, all right, so that's when I decided to, try to get educated in every facet of the Border Patrol possible to be competitive to go out here and take advantage of other positions, bro. Because they got task force with DEA, U.S. Marshals, FBI, CSI. They work in the White House. They work with the AUSAs. What I wanted to do was go work with HSI and do enforce child pedophilia and knock down doors like that and sex trafficking. That's where my goal was. I could see how what I'm looking for. I was very passionate about that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that was my goal to get stepping stones to eventually get there. But shortly, 3-4 years in, I'm coming to realize that I've been blackballed for some reason. And it lasted years. I'm putting in applications to take advantage of other opportunities. Interviewing with all types of higher ups from different gigs or whatnot, and I'm just getting told no all the time, right? And I know how it's gonna sound to the audience too, because it's like what is about you that's not that,
right?
You know what I mean? And I know that because I was self-aware because I'm whatever I need to improve, I'm going to improve on. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the one toot my own horn. Bro, put it like this: it was one point in time where the ACLU was suing the Border Patrol because of treatments of aliens. Maybe like I'm 5 years in, bro. So they sent all the attorneys to our station, and come to find out, all the powers that be at our Border Patrol station, like the top dogs. Yeah, they have a night at the round table conversation, like who we gonna get to talk to the attorneys to paint us in the best light, that knows the policies and is not gonna make us look crazy. Who they pick?
Right, pick you.
Me out of everybody. It's like 4 black people at the station. It's like 400 agents. Me. You know what I mean? And then they all watching me as I'm talking to the attorneys, trying to make sure everything good. You know what I mean? But then when it's like time for me to, capitalize off of the work I put in, bro. It's like, no. And I even had supervisors telling me, like, bro, like, because at the Border Patrol, they responsible for securing the border. And you got stations along the border, right? And those stations are in control of that particular section of the border. Mm-hmm. So that's like a entry level type of thing. So when I go to the station, 5-6 years in, I got soups telling me, my peers telling me, like, why you still here, Knight?
Yeah.
And like, why the hell you still here, bro? It's like, you better than this. You know what I'm saying? It's like a punch in the gut. Like, bro, I got any control over whether or not I'm here or not. You know what I'm saying? And then it's compounded with the fact, you know what I'm saying, I have equipped myself to be, bro, the people they're selecting over me, I've trained.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like every day it's just another gut punch.
So you got blackballed.
Yeah, bro. And I had a soup tell me that too. Like, for some reason, somebody here don't like you, bro. Every time somebody calls in trying to do a reference on you, a bad ticket's getting pulled out. You know what I'm saying? I went and talked to the head dude at the station one time, like the top dog. I sat him down, like, bro, what the going on? Yeah. In so many words. And then he's playing some he say, she say stuff, talking about, like, well, so-and-so said that you have been talking down on the Border Patrol, like things I've never said, bro. Like, somebody had smoked me. Yeah. And then at that point, I felt like, I'm stuck because I thought law enforcement was going to be my only position, because I'm making like 120, 130 a year at this point. I can't just get up and quit. I already sustained the quality of life, and then I can't. Everywhere else to go, I got to take a polygraph. So I'm like, you know what I mean? So I'm like stuck, like, yeah. And then just the years and years and years dealing with that mentality, and then I told you the women was a problem for me. Yeah. So like, I'm working graveyard shift, night shift, checking in, leaving at 8 p.m., get home at 8 a.m., 5 days a week. Only the time I take off, I go distract myself from my circumstances by like going out partying all night, chasing hoes all day, spending all types of money and drinking and partying and staying up bro, I'm doing the worst type of shit, you know what I mean? And it came to a point where it's like I had to, look myself in the mirror. I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? Mm. You know what I mean? It's like, you're going to let these fools get around. Like, you're going to continue staying here. And once I had my back up against the wall enough, it's like, I had to get creative on putting a plan to get out, which really has nothing to do with the story. The story came from me being pissed off. Like, hey, since y'all don't want to take advantage of my qualifications, I'm going to go to the cartel and tell them everything.
Tell me about that, because that had to been a crazy scenario for you to say, you know what, I've been putting in the work. I'm pretty much an expert at what I'm doing.
Facts.
These dudes are somebody blackballed, and they won't tell me why. I'm stuck. I could probably do better. Or maybe you're saying, screw these guys. I'm going to go and show them what it is. Yeah. Or show them that they missed out on me, or I'm just going to trade teams on them and see how they feel about that.
Bro, I don't know. I was in a dark spot, bro. Even to fathom that, to think that, like, I ain't gonna implicate myself, but bro, I was so hot, man, because I put so much work in, and I'm seeing people get picked over me. And it's like a continue, like, you ain't, and I'm stuck. And then I called my mom, because after a supervisor told me that I was too ghetto to be a supervisor, and he was the most like racist ever, bro. He's like this white boy from Alabama, and I had called him out. I was like, bro, you being racist, man. First thing he said to me, I'm not racist. My best friend's black. That's the first thing they be saying. The man I grew up with was black. Anyway, I called my mom, telling her about it, you know what I mean, how pissed off I was, and she knew what I was going through. And then I just had some dark thoughts, and first of all, the book started about me plotting out what I would do to get even with the Border Patrol. Like, how I would reach out to those that needed the help, right? And then
But this has been in the making. Like you were writing this stuff while you were in the Border Patrol. Pretty much.
I started writing this
at like a journal.
Yeah, so I was. It was like therapy for me. Initially, at first I thought I was gonna do what I was
You
writing.
right.
But then, you know what I mean, I was like, nah. But because what happened was when I was writing, it made me feel better. And it started to turn into a story. Started writing this in 2015, and then I'm writing my thoughts out, and, you know, so before I know it, I'm 5 pages in, 10 pages in, 15 pages in. I got a whole plot and characters or whatnot of like a dope scene at this point, man.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, well, I feel better, but, you know, what I'm gonna do with this? And then I called my mom again. I was like, hey, mama, you wanna read this? You know what I'm saying? And when I let her read it, she stayed on my ass. She was like, man, when I wasn't writing, she's like, bro, I need another chapter, bro. I need another chapter. And she stayed on my ass. But eventually, bro, like, it's like 2 stories at once because I had to shelf the book for a minute because my YouTube popped off. Because, you know, when I was telling you, when I had to like address my demons or whatnot and take control of my situation and figure my way out, I had put a whole plan together to get my YouTube off the ground because I was doing YouTube just for shits and giggles, like talking about music or whatnot. But then I saw like I got a little light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, man, if I could do this and do that and do this is like YouTube game too. So I was covering music at first. Yeah, I still cover music now, but it doesn't pay. It's copyrighted, right? So I was getting hundreds of thousands of views with no money. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how can I turn this into something? So I treat it like an internship. I said, if I getting these views and if I get to the milestone of 100,000 subs, I'm going to start, you know, selling merch. If I can't sell merch off 100,000 subs, then I need to stop doing what I'm doing. And I figured out how to market and do things. I started selling the merch and started making good money. And I was like, okay, I got something here. And then I started formulating a plan to, you know, focus on this and stream like this to turn it into something. I ain't know it was going to crack off like it did, but it cracked off, which forced me to shelf the book because I had too much to do. But that was one of the best feelings of my life too, bro, because when my YouTube popped off, I would be at the border in my Border Patrol uniform at the fence, my laptop, editing videos for my YouTube.
Oh yeah, so you did YouTube when you were still in the Border Patrol?
Well, hell yeah, hell yeah. I would stay parked at the fence. You know what I'm saying? If you park at the fence, ain't nobody coming over. Yeah. So I parked the truck at the fence and had my computer editing my videos I recorded when I was at the crib.
That's
you know
funny.
what I mean? And then eventually I got a gig where I could be in the office in the station, and they f***ed up giving me that because I could lock the door and I had street clothes. So what I would do, I would record for like 3 or 4 hours and I would edit all night. So I'm pumping out like 20 videos a week. You know what I mean? And I started racking in some bread, bro. I'm telling you, dog, one of the best moments in my life is that, like, because, you know, it's like cops, it's like a lot of dick swinging going on. Yeah. Like, you know, what's it called? Like your insignia?
Yeah.
Whatever, like, you know, how many stars you got or whatever, what ranking you got. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like peasant at the job, like, I ain't, but I know I'm making like 5 times this motherfucker make it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, I gotta, when somebody come tell me, like, bro, I need you to do this and do that and do this and do that, and it's like I gotta like hold my tongue so much, bro, because dog, and like I'll piss on you now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just having that thought in my mind just felt great because I knew that I was on to something, bro. And then you know, eventually I cut the cord when I got comfortable enough to do so. And that's one of the most difficult things to do, too.
100%, bro.
It's going from, like,
benefits. You got benefits. You got all kinds of stuff.
But just coming from that mentality, though, like, complacency kills. That's one of the big reasons why I stayed with the Border Patrol so long, too, because I was complacent. Mm-hmm. I'm comfortable. No matter if I go to work or if I don't go to work, I'm getting paid regardless. Yeah. Right? This here, we just talked about it, bro. Yeah. If you don't work, you don't get paid.
Yeah, you don't eat.
You don't eat. You know what I'm saying? So that paradigm shift of, like, coming from service worker or just typical worker out here to, like, betting on yourself, and that's what it was. Is like I bet on myself. Like you bet on yourself. Like at this point in that mentality I have now is like I don't give a what situation you put me in. Like you can take all my stuff away right now, right? I'm gonna get it right back just because of the confidence I've built throughout this whole process. You know what I'm saying? The amount of growth I have from dealing with the Border Patrol to being at the point I am now is crazy. After realizing what you can actually do and what you have control over, and once you break out that mental prison I was talking about. Cause
sometimes I think that, and not in every case, working 9 to 5, in some cases, is a mental prison, because some people feel like that's all I can do. This is all I'm capable of, and they can't see anything outside of that. But then when you become an entrepreneur, or you work for yourself, or you contract with such, you start to realize that, wait a minute, bro, that's a bigger world out here. I don't have to make minimum wage. I don't have to make a salary that they tell me I have to make. Like, I could work harder and get more accomplished. And I don't have to go at 9 a.m. and leave at 5 a.m. I can get up and start at 10 if I want to. I can start at 3 o'clock in the morning if I want to. Like that homeboy that was going viral for all that stuff he's doing. But you can start early in the morning and get your stuff done. And then when you're doing things for yourself, bro, it's a level of motivation and dedication that you just won't be able to have for somebody else stuff.
At all.
And so I know that I understand that feeling, man.
And it makes me think about the education system too, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They breed us to do that. They breed us to be service workers and not tap into our own potential. It's all done by design. Like, if everybody had what we had, the whole world would be entirely different. Bro.
It'd be different, man, because, and I don't know if it's malicious or it's just the rudimentary thing to do, because there's so many people and not everybody go-getters. You know, some people need to be worker bees. But it is a system where it's telling you, cross your legs, stay in line, shut up, raise your hand, go this time, leave this time. If you're a visual learner, well, if they're not visually teaching you, you don't learn. You're a bad student. You make bad grades. Too bad. You need remedial. And, you know, like young kids. Like, I think your kids will probably be in school soon, or if they're not already in school. But like young kids, especially when they're boys, they're rambunctious. They want to run. They want to fight. Like, my son is at home. My wife is homeschooling him. He fights all day long, bro. He fight me. He'll punch in the back of the head. After I told him don't hit people in the head, he punch in the back of the head, run off. He want to wrestle. He want to fight. He want to race me every day. He want to race. But that's what boys should be doing, not sitting in the classroom. And then when that urge and them hormones and stuff is raging in them, and they want to
put him on drugs.
They want to put him on drugs. Oh, he need Ritalin. He's too hyper. Oh, he's a bad student. He won't listen. He won't stand still. Yeah, because he's not supposed to
at all.
You guys are restricting the male aggressiveness and masculinity, and that starts when you're a little kid. And then they create this breed of saying, I only know how to work for somebody. Because creating your own business is like Facebook. It's like, no, not every business like that. Most businesses that are run are small businesses. I used to think that, man. I used to think like, I never own a business. Like, that wasn't a thing. Owning a business was for other people. It's what company can I work for was where my mind was at.
Brainwash.
Yeah, what are they paying me? Versus now I'm like, oh, shoot. Bro, the sky's the limit.
Facts.
If I want to be a big corporation, I could just work hard over time and I'll get there. If I want to scale it down, if I want to hire more people, I have control at the environment, the pay, it's all freedom. I can work when I want to work. I'm being nice to my guys by trying to work at a reasonable hour. But like, if I wanted to, I could say, nah, bro, I want to record videos at 7 o'clock at night. And that's what I'm going to do. And then everybody got to edit and they'll dump it in the morning or whatever. You come back in the morning and edit. But it's a lot of freedom. So you had the idea of saying, you know, I'm going to get back at them, you know, to go with the cartel. You had this idea to write down your thoughts. Were you like a good writer, or you just want a person that can put it down on a piece of paper, but the sentence structure and all of that maybe or were you good at
I didn't know how good I was, because I used to read a lot at work. When I stopped giving them, I used to read all the time. I like to read fiction, so I've read all the Game of Thrones books multiple times.
Really?
I like to read, and I have a mind, and I like watching movies. So I'm like a harsh critic. So when I started putting, you know, my love for books and movies into my pain, it just turned into this, and I didn't know how good it was. And I after showing my mom's supposed to tell me it's good. She's not gonna tell me it's trash. And then I let some of my partners read it too, who don't read like in the recreation. And they was like, bro, like, no, I want to read some more. And I'm still timid and like insecure about it, because, you know, this is new. I would like be at the park, or like if I take a flight or somewhere, I'd be working on it and just let a stranger like read a couple of pages, and they be tapped into it too. Like, okay, well, I guess it's time to get an editor. And then the editor said, bro, is this your first time writing? I I guess it's just a skill that I had that I didn't know I had, man. And
see, everybody write books, right? But not everybody write good books, right? Everybody want to put this stuff on a piece of paper, and some people use ghostwriters, overuse them, right? I mean, some ghostwriters write the whole person's book. They don't write anything part of the book. But I feel like that it's something about your book that's causing people to really be into it, bro. With the amount of followers you have and subscribers you have, and I know you got a whole, like, a loyal group of people that follow you, the success of your book is outpacing what one would expect from you just having as many followers as you have. Like, I feel like people are purchasing your book like you have millions and millions and millions of people following you. And that must mean that the book is good.
I guess. I hope so. I hope that's what it is, bro. Like, I'm actually surprised by the response or the reaction of people's books, right? Like, I knew bro, shout out to my girl. And this is why your girl, I don't know what camera to look at, but you want a girl that's going to keep it real, keep it 100 with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't just got no pretty face. Like, she a killer. She a dog.
Yeah.
All right? And then she going to tell you how it is. And she don't read. And she read this. She had the book, dog. She couldn't put it down. She couldn't put it down. She's like, every time, I'm like, babe, we trying to chill. Like, I'm trying to relax. Now, we working all day. She's like, hold on, babe, let me finish this page. And she get to the end, and she got to start it again, keep reading some more. I'm like, all right, well, if she can't put this down, I know I got something. And I'm hearing the same type of feedback from everybody else that's read the book, like that's purchased it. It's the same. They can't put them on down. I got some people that say they finished it in a day or 2 days. That's a 350-page book.
Well, that means it's dedicated. Because if it was a 150-page book, it's like, yeah, anybody can read that. Like, my book, I made it real short because I hate reading. Unless I'm super interested in it. And if somebody read my book in a day, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I made it for you to just read it and get the information to go. But for 300 pages, bro, that means you read, and unless you're a quick reader, that means you're dedicating time to reading.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, dog. I can't.
When you told me you were gonna write the book, I remember you telling me about it, and I was like, yeah, man. Of course, I encourage you to do it, and this is incredibly successful. Yeah, you should be proud of that, man. Like,
it's crazy that the whole story, though, bro. It's like this. It don't even feel real, bro. Because having that coming from where it came from, bro. It's like, me feeling like the lowest of the low and using that to, essentially say cue back to the Border Patrol. But then it's like it actually turns into a book that people enjoy and to read and what it means to me. Like, without this, I wouldn't be here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
With that story.
It's crazy.
That's cool. That's cool that people get a chance to get an insight into your mind. Yeah. Especially when it's not like you experienced it later on in life, you recant it. You thought about it and then wrote about it. It was like people the reason it probably was so good because you were writing it while you were in it. So everything that you say is fresh versus you leaving and then going back and trying to remember those moments and how you felt in the moment. And so I think that's what people are getting out of the book is they're getting a glimpse of like, no, this was when he was here at this time writing it. Probably some of it, well, you probably went home and wrote it, but some of it was happening probably while you were actively on patrols, bro.
It was. And like everything in the book is fake. It's inspired by true events, but everything can be connected to something that I, in some extent, experienced. Right. You know what I mean? Outside, well, I don't want to put it out there if you didn't read, because there's other things along the plot that I put in just to make it entertaining. But as far as some of the events and some of the things that are meant to get your attention and triggering are, things that are related to something that I experienced with the actual job. But it's funny that you say that, man, because I started writing it 10 years ago, and then when I picked it back up, when I had time to do it to finish it, I had to revamp a lot of things because a lot of things were dated. Because it's been 10 years now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I had to update it, and then I also had to change a lot of my verbiage, bro, because my initial writing of the book, I talked too much like a cop. Yeah. I had a lot of police jargon in it. Yeah. Right? And since it's being removed from law enforcement so long, like I wrote a lot of book like I'm writing a report out. Right. Right, got to be real descriptive. Articulate everything so the attorneys know what's going on. You got to write it like somebody else isn't familiar with what's going on. They know what's going down. Yeah. Right? And then I had to I rewrote it like a movie.
Right. So it is a benefit in a little bit of both, right? Because it's a fiction book, or, based on some true events, that having it in the moment has its impact, but then being able to update it and be, have the awareness to say it needs to be palatable, right? Because if another cop read it, they'll be like, great. Yeah. But then somebody who wants to be entertained too. So that marrying between accurate, stale information driven to saying, okay, I'm gonna put a little spice on it to make it palatable and so a person can enjoy reading it. That's interesting. So you leave that, you go to make the YouTube stuff. You had the channel talk about music, and then you got into politics. I think that's when I started following you. Is that I knew your channel when you started talking about politics. I think. And so, how did you get into that? Were you always into politics? Were you always conservative, or do you consider yourself to be moderate? Like, where did you stand before you start really hitting these political points? Because I feel like inherently music is not political, but if you're reviewing black artists, it's more liberal than it is conservative.
You know what, bro? When I first started, I was a liberal Democrat.
How bad, bro? Like, were you?
Bro, I'm a whole 180, bro. Like if me 2015 and George Foreman happened, I'm burning them.
George Floyd.
George Floyd. I said George Foreman. George Floyd. I'm burning buildings down. I was like that too because I was gone. I was cooked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it took YouTube to open my eyes because, I was prior to YouTube, I was in my, my black democratic echo chamber. Everybody echoing the same sentiments to me, and
And being a part of the frat, did that have anything to do with it or not?
Nah, not so much. It's that I was raised in a typical black household, listening to the black music and hip hop, and just thinking that black folks are so oppressed and we can't do shit. And, got everybody. You was the same way. You remember how it used to be?
Yeah, dude.
Back in the day,
I was the same way. When I was in college, I was like that, man. I mean, I was holding on to it a little bit because when I first got there, it was an eye-opening experience because I thought white people hated us. I thought if I engaged with a group of white people, they gonna have something against me. They gonna try to hold me back. Somebody gonna call me the N-word. They're gonna be blocking me out of activities, alienate me as a black man on campus. But then when I got there, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. These white people cool. There's so many black people. And they love us. Professors, I mean, women. I'm just being honest. Like, that was an eye-opening experience for me, too, as women. Because I was like, wait a minute. When I was growing up, I grew up around a number of black women. And black women got bodies. White girls, little flat booty, can't dance, all this sort of stuff that I perceived. When I got to college, I was like, what they feeding these in college? But outside of that, my mind began to open up, but I still was holding on to it because I took Africana Studies in college, and we, did a segment on lynching, and that just brought it all back in me, bro. Like, I used to walk down campus. I remember I used to always do this. I walk straight. I say, man, let a white person run into me on campus. God is my witness, bro. I was that, like, I created, back in MySpace. I don't know if you had a MySpace. Yeah, back in MySpace. I created a separate MySpace, and where the top 8 was like the top 8 black inventors. Yeah. So, bro, I was all black and black. Yeah. And went to a black church and everything. So it was
supremacists.
Yeah, so I felt that way too, man. So that's why I understand when people are like, black people are super like, but it also bothered me because I realized how lost I was. Like how silly it was for me to be like that.
Yeah, but I look at it as being a victim, man, because you don't know what you don't know, and you're being bamboozled, and you're being played like a fiddle to look at life that way. And YouTube forced me to consider other people's opinions, because if I'm not going to eat. Yeah. And that was very eye-opening, and it required me to remove my emotion from everything and look at things for what they was, right? And once you do that, like, your lens is entirely different. Like, life ain't fair. You know what I mean? Bad things happened to us in the past, but it's not like that at all today. If it was like that, you and I would not be as successful as we are.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. On our own accord. You know what I'm saying?
And I bet a whole bunch of white people buying your book. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm glad that's why I feel like we get along, man, and like other people like us, we get along, because it's freedom in understanding that we not held back no more. We not in chains no more. The white people don't have more power than us. It's the lamest, wackest thing for a dude to say if you run around complaining that somehow a white man got something better than you. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, I'm a man like he is.
Facts.
I just outwork you. What's wrong with me outworking you then? Like, you know how we used to say back in the day, me and you probably should say the same thing. Like, oh man, you gotta work two or three times harder than white people to do. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Why can't I outwork you? Why can't I be twice as good as you or better than you?
Yeah.
Why does it always got or the excuse to be like, well, they let the white man do this and that. But no, why do I gotta dumb down and be less than like the white man is doing?
Yeah.
Why can't I be excellent?
Yeah.
And now with all that bull crap behind us, you realize that, nah, bro, I have this drive in me to be better than everybody.
Yep.
White, black, or indifferent.
Yep.
And if you put in the effort, bro, you can do whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want, bro. Whatever you want.
If it's money, if it's success, if it's marriage. Because you got a pretty interesting story. Because did you meet your wife before, or did you meet your girl before you were conservative, or after you became conservative and you met her?
No, I met her way before. She knew me before anything. But when
did y'all get together? Because I remember you on Jesse Lee. When you were on Jesse Lee, you had talked about it.
Yeah, we've been together since we met each other, pretty much. But we took a break at one point. But she's been with me when I was both liberal on that side, and then, of course, she's with me now as I have a different perspective.
Well, how about her? Did her perspective change, or she's always been?
She has shifted her perspective with mine. Like whenever my mind go, her mind go too.
Yeah.
So she said, "Hell yeah!" I'm now thinking about it, bro. She was raised like in her her college years, like in a black culture type of environment.
Yeah.
So that had influence on her, and she was very much had a democratic lens, but her mind is opened up to it now. Probably not absolutely on account of me because of what I talk about on YouTube and all the content I bring to her. And we talk about things like that all the time, and it causes us both to grow and open up both our minds as far as everything is concerned. But yeah,
y'all got babies now. Y'all traveling the world.
What I also wanted to bring up as far as the conversation with what's holding black people back, which is the irony in that is like, black folks love to blame the white man, but the biggest thing in black people's way is black people.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? And one of the biggest things that I realized at this point of, how I've grown is that I used to take pride in my struggle. I used to take pride in my pain, and that's like such self-destructive, self-destructive. It's like, no one can relate to our struggles. No one can say anything about it, right? So if you can't even talk to me about it, and how you supposed to grow? How you supposed to fix anything?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's that held me back personally a lot back then, and that's why I always I'm glad to have the YouTube community, which requires you to take into account everybody's perspectives. And then traveling as well. When you get outside of America, you see what real struggle look like. Like everybody think they a victim and this racist, bruh. Man, take your ass to Africa.
Right.
Take your ass to Russia. Take your ass anywhere where you don't have this infrastructure here and the safety of police and the law to protect you, bruh. Where, all right, you black, all right, you about to get you know what I'm saying?
Nobody gonna be held accountable.
That's crazy. They don't know what real racism look like, bro.
Yeah, bro.
This ain't no,
bro. It's crazy because it's a people live in a different world. Like I look at the world and I say, wow, this is an incredible opportunity for everybody, but especially black people. Because where else in the world will you go and have an opportunity to do what people do now? And going back to your point about black people being our own issue. Like, when I was growing up in an all-black neighborhood, white people weren't a factor. I mean, realistically, the person that's going to rob you is going to be a person that look like you. Somebody stealing out of your car, somebody that hit your grandma over the head at the grocery store, or you just having to swing on somebody because you wearing the wrong colors, and now they think you banging, or you either gonna get punked, or you may lose your life over something like that. You name it, bro. The dude hating on you, the dude that's trying to get your girl up. It's really black people. And then when you go to college, I say this all the time because it happened. When you go to college and you come home, hey, you did good, thank you. You go to prison and you come home, I feel like they treat you better. I feel like they're more excited about a person going to prison, doing a crime, and coming home than you going and making some of yourself. I'm not saying that it happens all the time.
You talking about the culture, though.
The culture.
The culture. I don't like stigmatizing all black people either, so I want to clean that up. It's the culture. Yeah. It's the culture that ruins black people, because it's a lot of, like, look at the Africans that come here.
Yeah.
They don't mess with African Americans. Right. They all the things that we calling out, the same issues that they have with Africa. They call us lazy, they call us dumb, all our priorities are not straight. Like, if you Nigeria, your mom and dad expect you to be a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, right? We ain't doing that rap stuff and none of this TikTok, social media, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just the culture, and people gotta lift that culture those blinders up and realize what all is out there for you to take advantage of.
And I tell you what, that used to not be black culture. That's one thing that I think black people don't get as well. Not all, but I'm saying the people who buy into it, is that technically this was white redneck culture. If you read the book, Thomas Sowell's book, I think it's Black Redneck and White Liberal, he speaks about how they came from Europe and came to the South, and the redneck had a culture like we now see in the black community. And we, black people, adopted that culture. And then some of the white hillbillies or white rednecks evolved from the culture, but black people kept it. And some of the stuff that we see happening today is a residual effect of a culture that a lot of black people adopted that ain't even theirs. You can even look at kind of how Martin Luther King them operated, and some of our forefathers operated, that people don't do today. Back then, the community honored the pastor. So if you were a reverend, you had way more respect in the community. Reverend Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Reverend Martin Luther King. Now it's people that don't have nothing to do with God. Back then, the Million Man March, they all had suit and tie on. Now, I'm not saying you have to, but I'm saying that's the level of prestigiousness that came with activism, and that came with saying, I'm black, I'm proud. I'm not just black and proud running my mouth. I'm black and proud because we better than you. We dress up, we're professionals.
And that's why they were attacked, because back then it wasn't a stigma. It was we were a threat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to pay attention to these boys because they can come up here and take over. Now, ain't nobody scared of them. It's a joke. Like, we ain't nobody worried about no young thug or no damn nobody. You know what I mean?
It's a joke, but here's another part. It's assimilation. I understand here's the thing. When black people complain about we don't have none of our own stuff, my answer to that is blame Martin Luther King. Because during segregation, when we had our own stuff, Martin Luther King wanted us to desegregate. Malcolm X wanted us to be separatists, which means that he wanted black people to keep their own schools. We don't need to go to school with white people. They don't want you at the school. They're not going to teach you the history you want to teach your own kids. We got a bus line. Instead of Rosa Parks going and sitting in the back of the bus and causing a controversy, which was staged, that we know now, black people had their own bus line during that time. So if black people had their own banks. So if that's
black people were much more successful back during Jim Crow.
Bro, they own, and all over the country, they own their own stuff. The richest woman in the world at the time was Madam C.J. Walker, and she was a black woman in the early 1800s. So black people had a lot of tremendous success. But the problem is, if you wanted to be isolated as a black person and build black wealth, then you should be mad at Martin Luther King. However, if you want to build wealth today, it behooves you to assimilate. Which means that you can't sit around and say, I only want to do black. Because then you isolate yourself out of the American experience. If you got investors and you're a black person and you got a black-owned business, it would make sense for you to not say, I'm only going to work with black people.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Go work with whoever going to give you the money.
Absolutely.
You don't need to be a black owned, but like I hire all kind of people of all kind of races. I could be like, I'm only hiring black people. I've grown out of that, bro. I love everybody. You can, because it's not, like you say, it's not really a black thing, it's a culture thing. And so a lot of my friends now aren't my friends because of the color of their skin. It's because we have the same mindset.
Yeah.
And I wish that more black people would feel comfortable and confident in saying it's okay to adopt a mindset of success that they call white people mindset. Oh, you trying to be white. You act like you white. It's like, no, I'm successful. Like, this is how people get rich.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we can go down a whole list of that. But, you know, I got just a couple things I want to just ask you while I got you here. What's the most, you say all that you've done, you know, the book, Border Patrol, YouTube, you know, having children. And stuff. What would you say is your biggest, most proudest accomplishment of your life? Like when you look at accomplishments, meaning milestones, whether it's children or whether it's the book or whether it's Border Patrol getting in, getting out, whether it's your YouTube channel, your first X amount of dollars, like what's that moment in your life where you look back? And I know you have many, but just one of the many moments that you look back and say, this was one of my proudest moments of my life as a man, as a, you know, whoever Stevie Knight is.
When I was able to kill off the old mindset I had in order that was required to get me here, because it was like an out of body experience. I could see it happening when I could mentally cut the cord from, you know, the victim mindset or staying in a position that I knew I was better than and lifting those blinders up and actually taking control of my life. Because without that, none of this would have happened. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of that because I'm even more proud of it now because as of recently, since releasing the book and sharing my story, because I never told anybody about the Border Patrol up until I released the book, partly because I didn't want to be affiliated with the Border Patrol.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what was going to happen with this book. And since sharing my story, just the downpour of people that can relate to the story that have been inspired by the same journey that I have. And now I've opened up like a private online community for men. Women too are pulling up as well, but like-minded individuals that are either have already gone through these things or looking to do these things. Having my journey inspire men to place themselves in better positions.
Yeah, sure.
I can see how much more is going to impact me the larger it grows, because men are messed up right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of things we were talking about, bro. And I think that just that cycle or that connection of my, going through my struggle and realizing what needs to take place in order for me to change and be the man that I am now, and I'll be able to give that to other people to do, is what I'm most proud of at this moment.
That's good, man. Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
K-Dot, bro, all day.
I knew you gonna say that. I think I seen your review on that with the halftime show. It was something to beef between the two of them.
This Goof Troop.
What's your favorite genre of music? Would it be hip hop or is it something?
You know what though? I ain't listen to music no more.
That's funny. Me neither, man.
Bro,
Not really.
Only time I listen to it is when I'm on my music channel, bro. Favorite music to listen to my pastime is probably Afro beats. I listen to that a lot, but only thing I listen to now is self-development stuff. To weaponize me more to be a better version of what I'm trying to accomplish. Yeah. That's all I listen to. I've created my own little algorithm, echo chamber, giving me positive affirmations, and then giving me the information, education I need to be, boss dog.
Yeah.
That's it.
What's your favorite food? Like if you can eat anything and you only have, like one item you can pick. Or 2 items. Let me be fair. 2 items you can pick. Because I know you obviously healthy. You work out.
I eat. But my girl, she's you call them crunchy mom. You ever heard of a crunchy mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a crunchy
all
mom.
that healthy stuff.
Yeah, I'm down, but I'm with it too. Like she's the healthiest person I know. She know everything. Call her anyway. She's like doctor with the food, but. So I've been eating so healthy that I haven't even been thinking about.
But regardless, I mean, it could be healthy. Like what is
like a nice steak. Like a nice juicy steak with some twice baked potatoes.
What? This is the I don't know what I said. Probably the most important question I'm gonna ask you. Now, how do you get your steak cooked?
Medium.
God dang it.
What you eat yours? Well done?
No, bro. That's a sin. Well done. You going to hell if you eat your steak well done. No, I eat medium rare.
Yeah.
I think medium ain't too bad.
I could do medium.
If you
medium.
said well done, I'd be like, yeah, bro, we need to get you some.
I
help.
can do medium rare. I mean, it could be a little.
Will you
rare.
eat rare?
It don't bother me.
Have you ever had steak rare?
Like just cutting the piece of cow off and eat it.
Just rare, bleeding, blood just running out the plate.
I'm not. I mean, I tried. I ain't never had it before. I mean, I ate raw fish. So
Yeah, I know. Right? People eat raw fish and they can't eat raw steak.
yeah, it's probably a thicker food in your mouth though. So I don't know how that's going.
Have you ever had? I don't think you ever had steak tartare.
I think I have.
So steak tartare is just a raw steak.
Yeah,
I mean, no,
yeah.
they don't even cook it. I mean, they say they cook it with citrus or whatever, but it's not cooked. It's not like grilled. It's like tuna. It's like tuna tartare. It's like these cubes of. Sometimes they dice it up pretty fair.
I think I have some. What's your favorite food?
I'll do steak all day. Dry aged ribeye steak. I can eat that every day of my life. If you cook it medium rare and you know get a good sear on it, I can eat it all day long, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
My favorite snack would be junk food. I think it would be a piece of cookie.
Chocolate chip. I'm a cookie monster, bro.
Cookie.
Chocolate chip cookie is my sin.
You put ice cream on top of that cookie, it's game over.
Well, I eat crazy healthy. I'm pretty much been on the carnivore diet for the longest, and like surprisingly, like when you first started, you crave carbs a little bit because you eat them so much.
Yeah.
But now I don't think about carbs, bro. It's a good little pocket to be in it.
So what's your workout regimen? Like you work out every day, work out 4 times a week? I mean, you do cardio every day?
I work out 5 days a week pretty much. 2
CrossFit or just Rick standard workout?
No, weight lift, and then I do boxing still 2 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
And then I do that 5 days a week, and then I take the weekends off. I usually go for like a run or something on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, bro, I'm tripping, bro. I like
you work too much, though, bro.
I could do better, bro, because
if you wanted to, you would.
Right. If it get back, because I just started getting into the gym like a couple months ago, and I obviously made a supplement, T-Force, because I wanted something to help with energy and muscle development and stuff, and I might as well make it myself. I got the money to do it, and it's been really helping me a lot. I just it got to be more important because I work out at a private gym with a trainer we could do group workouts. So it'd be like 5 or 6 dudes that go in there and we work out in a group. And that only time I can do it, I could do it more than once, but the only time we do the groups is in the morning. So I got to wake up at 5 a.m. to do it. Therefore, 5 a.m. and then my day is all the way to like 6
That's the only time you work out is doing the group workouts?
Well, because that's the only time I can. I do the group workout at 5 a.m. unless I go at 8. But here's the thing. I work up at 5 a.m. is the best time to do it because 5 a.m. I wake up at 5 a.m. 6 to 7. 7, take my kid to school. He got to be there, get ready. He got to be there by 8. It opened at 7:45. So I get there. I get back about 8. I'm good. I got an hour before my first meeting with the team. And then once we do that, then I got other stuff. Sometimes I have meetings and different things that we talk about. And then I got to get into my live show. After the live show, I have a little bit of break in the afternoon unless I have interviews or anything. And then I smoke my cigars and I just chill. And then I'm thinking about business. I'm trying to figure out what's the next thing I'm going to do. So, but if I go at 8, I'm always 30 minutes to 20 minutes late because I got to take my kid to school and then I got to drive back to the gym. I don't like going in the evening because I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm saying.
And then I don't get nothing done because I'm like, and then the trainer though, he's not there. His last session is at 10, and if I'm in there by myself, I'll do the workout, but it's not.
Your mind be wandering and shit too because you got so much shit.
Bro, and it get tough, and I'm just in there way longer than I should be. When I work with the guys, hour workout, we go boom, 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 boom. We supersetting everything for a whole hour.
Why don't you just have him give you a workout to follow, and then you just?
I know he give me one, but I'm like, dude, I'm not disciplined like I used to. I got to get back into it. Cardio is my biggest thing. Yeah. Boy, I got a stomach and a frog back. I got to do the cardio to get it down.
Cardio's boring though.
It's stupid boring. But what I do like you do, you know, when it comes to listening to certain things. So when I do my cardio, I like listening to affirmations and listen to motivational speech, and maybe I'll do an audio book of a book that I'm really interested in. And that's the only thing that get me through that cardio, bro. Unless I'm just like, bro, you just got to get in and shut up.
Why don't you do something like boxing or jiu-jitsu or something like that? It's fun, bro.
I'm going to get into the jiu-jitsu because I got to learn how to fight. 'Cause I feel like I can brawl with somebody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff hit the fan. I'll swing with somebody. Yeah. But it's a difference between brawling and fighting, right? Because like you doing the boxing, bro, if you probably feel way more confident out there in the street where somebody went through something, you like, bro, I know how to.
Yeah, the majority of people don't know how to do it.
Most people don't know how to square up. Most people don't know how to throw a punch accurately. You know, they kind of flailing. But also, like, I like UFC stuff. So I'm like, man, if I do that, then I'm also getting the cardio, but I'm also learning how to fight. So therefore, in case somebody try me in public, I have a lot.
Ain't nobody gonna try your big ass.
I have never had nobody try me. Somebody, they may be high on drugs.
It'll be the small person to try. You won't be a big dude because big dudes
they know what it takes. Huh?
Yeah, most big dudes are gentle giants anyway because nobody tries them. It be the small, more Napoleon complex firecrackers that pop off on you.
Yeah, it's like
do that, bro. Join like a little fighting gym. You burn so many calories. You ain't got to do it every day of the week. Do that 3 times a week. You be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But anyway, bro, we could talk forever.
Yes,
How
sir.
can people go get your book?
If you just go to my YouTube channel, there's a link for it at the bottom. But if you go to myshopify. Hold on, let me. Where my phone?
We got to get you a better domain. Why? I saw that on your story. You had.
Look, bro.
You had my Shopify. I'm like,
because Amazon playing me, bro. Amazon taking too damn long. My book is supposed to be available on Amazon, but they taking their sweet time to have it available up there. The book is
but we got to get your domain on your Shopify change.
Oh, they ain't changed.
It should be my Shopify. You should be able to say. Fed Up.
Yeah.
Well, somebody may take that domain, but you could say like Fed Up book now or something. Fed Up book now.
I'm gonna change it.
I'm gonna help you before you leave. Before you leave, we gonna do it while you here now. Right after the show. After this.
All you gotta do is look up Stevie Knight Fed Up, and there's a bunch of links that'll take you to it. And the ebook is available everywhere on every platform. But to get the signed copy and get a soft cover is available at the Shopify store.
We're gonna get a link, and we're gonna put the link in the description section, so people can get in and find it and get the book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna read it. I hate reading, bro, but
I bet you if you read the preface, you may not finish it at that given time because you got so much going on.
Yeah, but I will.
But you're gonna want to continue reading.
And it's on audiobook.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No, it's not audiobook yet. I ain't done it yet.
Oh, bro, you gotta do audiobook. I'm like, bro, I'll pop that in.
No, I need it.
You gonna voice it?
Yeah, I got to.
Yeah, I did mine. I didn't do mine. I got sick and they were rushing me and they had another black guy that sounded like me. It was a black guy that sounded like me. And people were like, you didn't do your thing. And I'm like, dude, that first book was so terrible, man. I'd never work with that company again to do that book. I'm going to self-publish my own next book.
That's the
and
move.
Therefore, I can take my time and do it. Because with them, we had a deadline. The book would have been probably the most selling book in a police genre ever in history if they'd have got my book done when it was supposed to be done. They told me, you're 40 pages short. I'm like, I don't know how many pages I'm writing. I wrote it and I sent it to you guys. You should tell me if that's the length of the book that you want. This is all I wrote.
Yeah.
And then they go, we need to postpone it for 6 months. And then therefore everything died out, man. 2020 was dead. All of police activity stuff was dead. And people had to pre-order the book for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know how silly that was?
Whack.
And then when I released it and I'm looking at the book and I'm like, I don't read books. And the book is only 100 and something pages. So I'm like, if I'd have been able to just do it at my time, I could have just been working on it over time instead of trying to press it all at one time.
Yeah.
And I could have read the book.
You the one that told me to self-publish.
I know, because I learned my lesson, bro. I like, man, I ain't never doing it again. These companies, they don't do your stuff right. Like, I had to buy the book from them and do it myself. Because they had it on Amazon, or they doing this, they doing that. I'm like, people want a signed copy. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to give me how much it costs. Give me all my books. I'm gonna ship them out. Because I want people to get them like this. As soon as they order, I want them to get them quick. And, and then people can get feedback. So, next book, I'm going to self-publish my own book. And I got a couple book ideas that I want to do, but I'm gonna self-publish the book, and I think it'll do way better than.
Bro, how you gonna have time to write a book?
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dictate the book. So I'm not good at writing. I'm gonna dictate it. When I have my ideas, I'm just gonna talk, and then I'm gonna obviously get somebody that can help me put my words into context and kind of do it like that. That's what I did with this book. I dictated a lot of the book. I wrote the intro, outro.
I'm just saying, how you gonna even have time to dictate a book, bro? Because you're doing 1,000 things.
I know I'm doing so much stuff, bro, but like I'm young, bro. Like I do be blowing time on some bull crap.
Yeah.
I could probably find a way to just do a little bit at a time. If I just dictate my thoughts for like 10 minutes.
You do like block scheduling?
Nah, I heard about it, but I don't do none of that.
You need to do it, bro. That's the best way to keep you on pace and keep you disciplined to it. Like, I'm going to do this for this amount of time, and once this time is up, I'm going to the next thing. And if I don't get this done around this amount of time, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and then you'll see how much extra time you got to allocate towards things.
I know for a fact I got plenty of time to do it. If I actually focused on it, because to be honest, I got a lot of people who work with me, help me research, help me get my videos edited. I don't have to do none of that. My live show, if I did it at noon, I'd be over by 2. And all that time, bro, I really got off. And I do a lot with my COO right now because we got so many irons in the fire. It's insane. Like we got a Talladega experience that we're doing.
What's that?
So I'm gonna have Talladega NASCAR. So I got a guy, Caleb Costner, who's a driver. I've been knowing him for a while. He's in ARCA. ARCA is like the entry level to NASCAR. Cup is the top, and ARCA is the entry. And so he's an ARCA racer. And we sponsored this car. I went to Talladega with him last year. We sponsored this car at Daytona 500. We had a sponsorship spot on it. And he crashed in the third lap because some idiot did all this and crashed out like 6-7 cars and got our guy. And so we tried to do something for him, man. We just trying to raise $55,000 for him so he can race in Talladega. Yeah. And what I did was I partnered with him. And so it's going to be an Officer Tatum car.
That's hard.
And Synergy, which is my supplement company, Synergy Car. And then I'm gonna crowdfund with the audience. Like, so people that want to be a part of it, they can be a part of it. We got a couple companies that's gonna be sponsors. And then we got people that want to go to the pit with me. So for $5,000, you can have a weekend experience with me.
That's tough.
We're going to do dinner the night before. You'll be in the pit with me at the race with the NASCAR on the freaking pit. And then the next day we'll all go to the Cup race, which is the big dog race. Yeah. And so
that's
all
tough,
of that.
Because you got some dope fan base in that, bro.
Bro, it's crazy. That's why I wanted to do it, because when I went to Daytona, people were like, Tatum, oh my God, Brandon Tatum. And I'm like, dang, dude, I got a pretty big fan base here. So let's just turn this into a fan experience. Like, companies can give it $10,000. Fans that want to do Talladega experience, bro. I don't even know why it's $5,000. It's worth way more than $5,000 because they get a chance to get there, and we do dinner together. We spend the whole day on Saturday together, and then Sunday we go to a race, which is probably a large part of the day. So it's like a week. Spending a weekend with me. Yeah. And so that's a lot. And the dinner's paid for. Yeah. And that dinner was expensive. We're at a steakhouse. I paid for it already. Yeah. So people getting that experience is going to be great.
That's hard, bro.
And they get two tickets to the pit. But then everybody else, like at $200, everybody that donate $50 or more get a shirt. And we built a custom shirt, one of one. But it's $50 for a shirt. That's the first donation level. You can donate any amount. You can donate $3 if you want to. But that, and then the $200 level is where we'll put your name on the car. So everybody that donate $200, you'll get a shirt, and then we'll put your name on the trunk of the car. And we'll take a picture of it, and that's going to be, you're going to have your name on that car forever.
That's fire.
And so it's a cool little experience. But what we doing that, we doing this. We got the supplement company that's coming out, Synergy. People have already pre-ordered the Synergy day and night energy drink, like the energy drink and the night drink. T-Force right there, sold out. We can't keep it. 24 hours, I put it up for 24 hours, gone. Second batch, gone. Third batch, gone. 24 hours. And we went so far to remake it. I had so we sold out everything, and we're not going to bring that version back. I had my formulator create me the best testosterone boosting supplement on the market. He literally did research of the best highest, the one that sells the most, and that's the best on the market. And he created a proprietary blend on top of what's the best on the market out there, so it made ours a little better. And so T-Force is coming. It cost a ton of money to get 4,000 units of it. We paid the down payment for that, and this is coming in, and it's supposed to be here last week. No, it's supposed to be here last week, but they got the freaking bags wrong. Like the bags that the thing is in, they didn't get it laminated, so the letters were falling off of it, and which is their fault. How did they get bags not laminated? So they had to redo the bags. But like that's coming out soon.
Shit.
It's crazy, man. We got our store. We work with a whole bunch of other people in their stores.
So basically, you said you got a lot of irons in the fire. For real, you wasn't playing, bro.
Bro, that's not even it. I think we got a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on. So while I'm young, I'm trying to do as much as I can, and then one day I'm gonna sell that company, Synergy, and for like $6 billion or something.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be, me and you gonna be sitting on the beach, man. Margaritas or something.
Speak it into existence, bro. That's the wave, bro.
That's another thing that one day we gotta talk about. Because I know you on the same wavelength as me. A lot of Christian people miss this whole thing. If you're gonna be successful in life, if you're gonna accomplish incredible things, you have to see it first.
Absolutely.
Everything that exists started in somebody's mind. This building right here, the architecture of this building, the blueprint, somebody saw it in here, put it on a paper, and people begin to build it. Yep. That is exactly how your future is orchestrated. You see it in your mind, and then you begin to document it, which means that you have a plan of action.
Yep.
Then it start building. And
so I write everything down. All my goals, and then the baby steps and the plans to make the goals happen. And there's not a goal. There's no dreams, because all a dream is something you don't act on.
Right.
It don't matter how large the goal is. If the goal is large, you chop it down in baby steps, man. So it's like you selling it for $6 billion is not crazy.
Right. You got to think, why not? Like some people be like, oh, $1 billion. I mean, it's like
people that think like that will never accomplish nothing.
You'll never do that.
Yeah.
Alani. So, and I guess I'm snitching on myself a little bit because we don't have the product because it's getting developed. So we only have so many samples. So I can't dish it out to everybody. So, but people still want an energy drink. So the energy drink that I chose, and I didn't like Celsius. We had Celsius before. I hate Celsius. It's just nasty to me. We had Alani. It tastes bomb. That tastes really good. They just sold to Celsius for $1.8 billion. Now imagine that. Alani is 6 years. They've been a brand for 6 years, sold for $1.8 billion. So when people short themselves and say, well, I don't know, it's like, you don't know. Why don't you just grind and see where it land? With me is people ask me, how much money you want to make? I don't even think about it. People ask me, how big you want your platform? I don't even consider that. How much money you want to make a month? I don't consider none of that. All I do is focus on the process. I say if I grind and I put my best foot forward, and I'm always innovating, and I'm looking up this, and I'm researching this, and I'm hiring new people, and I'm believing and having faith, and I'm taking chances, and I'm networking with people. That number, I would shortchange myself by having an inferior number, because what if God actually gave me what I wanted?
Then
right? What? People say, I want to make $1 million. Well, that's cool. That makes sense. That's somebody's goal. I don't want to make $1 million. I don't want to put a limit on it. I just want to hustle and grind, and wherever that lead me, because what if it's 10 million and I'm talking about one? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You don't want to cap yourself out.
What if it's me owning this entire complex and I'm just talking about owning one building?
Yeah.
No. The process is what matters. The process. What process are you doing and you can see the outcome? Because there's a lot of things that I never planned for to happen for me because I'm in the right position at the right time. I never thought I'd do radio. Did radio. Very successful. And another thing that just came up, it's a little show idea that somebody trying to pick up, which would be very incredible for me. A big TV network want to pick up the show that was pitched by somebody I know, but I'll be the main host of it. I never thought of that. Yeah. But because I'm doing the process, these things open up for me. And you get a show. To be honest, if you get a show like The View or some of these women that got these shows, you know how much money they pay them? It's lucrative to have a show that big. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
They getting paid millions of dollars. Rachel Maddow, who is, in my opinion, the dumbest woman on television, she made $30 million a year, bro.
To be dumb.
In front of everybody.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, that's just one of the things that I think about. I try not to limit myself with being too granular on goals.
You following the purpose, bro. You ain't following the profits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the same way. I don't, especially at this point now, like initially it was about, how many views and how much money those views could bring me, man. But the pocket I am right now is I'm just trying to provide value to the bros.
Yeah.
Specifically, man, trying to fix people's problems, and whatever that leads me is where it's going to lead me.
So you do have a community, right? We were talking about that earlier. How do people get to that community?
It's called. You leave a link for it.
I'll leave a link for it
in this video too, man. But it's on the school platform, SKOOL, and it's called You. It's called You because I envision it. My plan or my vision for down the road is to not have my face even be the spokesman for it. I want it to run on itself and just to represent somewhere where people take care of themselves and people go to support each other, right? And, bro, that's been so refreshing for me personally and for everybody that's there because the world is so toxic and all you're reading is about gender wars and divisiveness and, simp this and, OnlyFans that. And, you know what I mean? So, like, when I open the invite to this and just this flooding of people that are receptive to what I'm saying, it's just all positivity. And it just, I knew the void was there, bro. I knew bros was lost, but I'm talking to bros every day, all day now. Right, it's one thing to watch videos and comment on videos and chat on emails and whatnot. But I'm talking to 10, 20, 30 dudes a day about their problems, or they trying to uplift me or whatnot, bro. It's just dope to see that, and I'm trying to magnify that and make that the cool thing because the cool thing now, Red Pill and Andrew Tate this and Press and Fit that, and it's just the toxicity that just ruining everything for everybody, bro. Where you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to instill like real manhood, you know what I mean, where it's like morals and virtue and competence and confidence and being reliable and courageous and all that. You know what I mean, like really what a man should be and what women really want, and then. I think that everything wrong in this world right now can be fixed if men fix their circumstances, and by that, with that, everything else will fall where it needs to be.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
It's getting hot up in here. But anyway, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I hope all the luck for the book and the it's not just men, but the community that you're building, man. I wish all the luck to you on that one, man. So I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Yes, sir.